Hello, welcome to the birth vlog video. Funny story.
Yeah, it's really funny.
We filmed a whole bunch of stuff when my water broke, when we were on the way to the hospital, at the hospital, and in our tired new parent state, all the footage got lost.
Apologies from me are in order on that one, I think.
But we're still gonna tell kind of the story of how we went into labor, what it was like while it's still a little bit fresh in our minds. And we will introduce you to Miss Blakely. She is a little fussy right now, which is why she's in the video. We were gonna try to do it during nap time, but she did not want to cooperate.
Imagine.
So we are having a little bit of a contact in the halfway nap. She's still
soothing.
Yes, she's still wide awake. But we're gonna tell the story of the labor, delivery, all that kind of stuff. So back in October, it was on the 14th.
Thursday the 14th.
Yep, Thursday the 14th. It was late that night. I had been doing everything possible to try to get myself to go into labor. I was listening to music I liked all day because it says that increases your oxytocin levels. I was going on walks. I took a bath. I did everything. Well, after the bath, I was sitting on the couch with Carson, and it felt like I peed my pants. But I hadn't peed my pants the entire time I was in labor, so I was kind of not believing that that's what it was. So then afterwards, I went to the bathroom, and my underwear were soaked. So I started Googling, and it said that it could have been my water, and if it was, that I would just keep leaking fluid. So I was basically just tracking to see if I was leaking more fluid. I gave it 30 minutes. I was still leaking fluid. So while I was still in the bathroom, though,
She sent me a text message. I think my water may have broken. Not sure though.
yep,
Of course, it was followed by sending me a funny TikTok.
yes,
Classic.
typical me. And so I was just trying to relax. So then I called my doctor's office. They thought that my water did in fact break, so they had me go to the hospital to the triage. They tested the fluid that was leaking out of me, and it was my water, but I wasn't contracting or anything like that. So they did admit me because my water is broken, and they were going to give me till 6 a.m. to see if I had progressed. I was still dilated just to a 1, which was very discouraging.
Not what you wanted to do.
Yes, so at 6 a.m. I had dilated to a 2. So they did not start giving me Pitocin yet, and then they waited till 8, and I was still a 2. So then they started giving me Pitocin then, and I was in labor and just kind of laboring on my own until about 1 p.m. And at that point, I was like, I've got to be so far along because these contractions hurt so bad. I'd been on Pitocin at that point for
Like 4 or 5 hours?
like 5 hours. And so the contractions were just super intense and they were really hurting. So I asked for my epidural. The anesthesiologist came in, gave me my epidural, and afterwards when they were going to check me to see how far along I was. And I was, to my surprise, I was still just dilated to a 3. I was like, I gotta be a 5 by now. I for sure thought I was so far along. Well, in case anybody has never had an epidural before, for me, power to any person who can give birth without an epidural, but that was amazing for me. I'd been in labor for so long. I was so discouraged because I was not progressing at all. I couldn't relax, and I was finally able to sleep. And so I was finally able to relax enough to go to sleep and take a nap, and I slept for a while.
Yeah, at least an hour and a half or 2 hours.
Yeah.
Because at this point, my parents were up in Kansas City. They, we gave them the news Thursday night. When we got to the hospital, we said, hey, heads up, we're in the hospital now. And after that, that was 1 a.m. when they may have gotten the text. They could not sleep. It was 4 in the morning when they said, all right, we're just going to get on the road to Kansas City. Mm-hmm. We want to get there. And so I hadn't seen them yet, though, until this point when you started taking a nap.
Okay.
And so if she was napping, so I told him, hey, come by in the lobby. I'll meet up with you and let you know what's going on. And so I was down there with them for maybe half an hour, and then I would come back up and like peek in there and make sure you were still just napping normally. Like, okay, I'll go back down. And then
what was it, about 5 o'clock that they checked me and I was like a 7?
Yeah, I was in the evening, 5
Yeah.
or 6 o'clock maybe.
And by that point I had like woken up from a nap. They checked me and I went from a 3 to a 7.
Yeah.
In like 2 hours. And then after that I kept staying at a 7 for a while.
Were
And
you
then
napping again?
yeah, I was napping
Yeah.
again. And then probably at like 11:30 that night they measured me again, which at this point I'd been in labor for over 24 hours.
Yeah.
And so at 11 o'clock that night, they checked me and I was I was a 10. And so they said since I had the epidural and I didn't have the urge to push yet, they were gonna set me up. So they set me like sitting up basically, with my legs like crossed.
Yeah, they dropped the bed, the feet part of the bed downwards, so you could almost sit like on almost like a big chair, a
Yes.
throne or something.
And they wanted gravity to help me. So they basically dropped it so I was more vertical, and they were like, we're gonna give your body 30 minutes to try to naturally drop her because she was still pretty high up. Well, at this point we did not realize that she was not flat. Like most babies come out face down and come out this way. She was vertical like this, and so she was stuck, so she couldn't get out. So at like midnight I started pushing, and I was pushing. I ended up getting her head out, and then they realized her shoulder was stuck behind my pelvis. Well, having never given birth before, I had no idea that a nurse jumping on your stomach and pushing and them telling you to not stop pushing and like you like can't take a break. I had no idea that was not normal.
Just thought it was the home stretch or something.
Yes.
That's what I was thinking. I was, up by your head, standing on kind of just over your shoulder. And every once in a while, I was kind of peeking down and seeing how much progress had been made. And I thought it looked all normal. Couldn't tell which direction her head was facing. And so I was up by you and thinking everything's normal. And then they told you to not stop pushing. And that's when I was kind of like shoved out of the way, and the nurse just barrels on top of you. Just crazy.
She was pushing my stomach to try to help the baby come out.
I was like, oh, okay.
And
here we go.
We just like, I can remember like looking up, and then all of a sudden there's like 15 people in the labor and delivery room with us.
It's crazy.
The whole NICU team was in there.
Just like in a snap.
Because she came out, and both of us agreed. Like, Carson thinks she looked gray when she came out, and I thought she looked blue. But she was not breathing when she came out, and it felt like ages. Like, it felt like it was so long until we could hear her little screech of a cry. It was really scary. And then she was born, and we could hear her cry.
Was it the resident or the doctor? Right after she was whisked away, she kind of popped her head up and said, I'm going to tell you what happened in a minute.
Yeah, we're going to make sure.
Everything's okay,
Yeah.
but give us a little time to get her settled.
Yes, yeah. And so basically her shoulder got stuck. At first they were kind of worried that they broke her shoulder or broke her collarbone, but she ended up being just fine, and she's all good.
She loves to have that arm just flung up by her head at all times, especially right after she was born, and that was some cause for concern because that was the arm that had been affected. But we had the main pediatrician. Every time he would come in and check, we would ask and want him to check, and he would do some little checks on her arms, and everything was always normal. Mm-hmm. No pain, no nothing.
She's doing good, and now she's officially sleeping. But that was kind of the story of the delivery part. Since then, though, she's been a really good baby. She has slept really great. I mean, we got to leave the hospital the day after she was born. She's a really good little baby. She doesn't fuss too much. She typically always has a reason when she's crying. And we're now, officially today, she's 3 weeks old.
Today,
so
Saturday, November 6th. 3 weeks away.
Yeah, 3 weeks in, we're starting to figure out what she needs when she's crying. Our cat is playing on her activity mat. You can hear the crinkling in the background.
loves anything that crinkles.
But she's now 3 weeks old, so we're starting to figure things out. Last night she gave us one of our best nights of sleep ever.
I got 8 hours. Not continuously, but add it all up. 8 hours of sleep.
And I mean, I'll explain in a little bit why I was feeling sick, but I was feeling sick last night, so he took care of her all night, which was amazing.
I think we gave you 10 hours of sleep.
Yeah, I got like 10,
which
so.
you needed badly.
I did. I guess since then, so my mom stayed with us for like 3 or 4 days after she was born, and that was an amazing help. And then after that, about the next week, we did a grand tour in Oklahoma with her, and she went to her first OSU game. We went to his parents' house, his aunt's house, his grandparents. Then we went to my family, and we went and saw my grandma, all my aunts and uncles. She finally got to meet her Uncle Holden and her Aunt Bree Bree.
It was a whirlwind of a week.
And then we finally got back, and I don't know if I told you guys in one of the vlogs, but I had this horrible stomach pain when I was pregnant, and they thought it was a UTI, and it ended up not being a UTI, and it turns out that I had gallstones. And I mean, it's horrible pain when you get a gallstone, and I was just so uncomfortable. Well, I started having gallstones again after she was born, and I had no idea what it was, and finally we went to urgent care, this last Tuesday?
Yeah, so about 5 days ago.
Yeah, we went to urgent care, and they officially diagnosed me with gallstones, and I have to get my gallbladder taken out on Monday. Well, last night I had another gallstone, and I mean, it just hurts so bad. You can't get comfortable, and sometimes when you're holding the baby, it puts so much pressure on your gallbladder, just because of where you hold them, or they'll accidentally kick you there, or whatever, and it's so painful. And so after about 16 hours, I finally passed the gallstone, or the pain went away.
Not after you being literally down onto the floor.
Yeah, I was like on the floor, trying to get comfortable, and finally did, but it has not been easy.
Counting down the days till
Monday, here we come. Yeah, Monday, here we come.
So my mom and my sister are coming up to Kansas City to have some extra hands while we get you recovered from that.
So they're coming on Sunday night. I have surgery on Monday at noon, and they're gonna stay until I think like Tuesday afternoon. So that way it gives me like the whole day that I had surgery plus the next day to try and recover some and feel a little bit better before. It should be laparoscopic, so I feel like the recovery should be fairly fast, but it's hard to know since I literally just gave birth, so you never know what recovery is going to be like when you're already recovering from something else.
Yeah.
It looks like our battery's about to die, so I think we'll just end it here.
We'll wrap things up, and it was an extremely incredible experience.
It was.
Gosh, nothing like it ever before that I've experienced.
We're so happy you guys are getting to meet her. I will include I'll include at the end of this a little montage of photos and videos of her first few weeks so you guys can see her. Guys, I'm going to end the video here. I hope you guys really enjoyed all the little footage of her throughout her first few weeks, and make sure you guys like, comment, and subscribe. We're going to be posting a lot of videos about Blakely and her growing up, and we are also going to be doing Vlogmas this year, so not sure if I'm going to do every single day because we have a newborn and that would be a lot, but we are going to be posting things like decorating our house for the first time with the newborn, and a few other like Christmas gift guides and things like that, so make sure you guys follow along. Also, one thing I forgot to mention, look at my push present. Carson got me a baby band, and also ignore my nails. I also have a newborn, so they can't keep up, but he got me a little band. We didn't do wedding bands for ourselves, or for me. I just used my engagement ring, and he got me a little baby band, and I love it so much. So just wanted to brag on him because he's been the best dad ever. He changes just as many, if not more, diapers than me. Since I'm pumping, he feeds her just as much, if not more, than me sometimes, and he just takes care of her so well. So I'm so proud, and I love him so much. So just giving him a little shout out when I end this video, but make sure you guys follow along. Talk to you guys later. Bye.